Instead of what happened. Honored soon-to-be Kala and Chatan, and honored parents Beth and Gary and Farley and Glenn.
And David's on Skype.
Right.
Oh, David's on Skype. Oh, and David. Well,
Hi, David.
He's on mute.
it's very good that we're technologically up to
Right.
date. Because Tenaim, although people think that it's new, Tenaim, or Tenaei Shiduchim, go back to Talmudic times. In the little bit of research that I did, I saw that Tenaim go back in the Talmud Ketubot to Rav, in which Rav says each family should say how much to contract this wedding, to bring these two people together. The idea was that parents understood that there were financial obligations that they had for their children. I don't know if you've thought about that deeply, but I at least want you to be aware of that. What's usually in Tenaim, and what we're going to hear today will be somewhat different. But in the 11th century, there is a recorded from Sefer Hashtarot that there were Sephardic Tenaim, an actual text, and we Ashkenazic Jews were only 1 century behind on that. They were often considered Tenaim Rishonim, the earlier contractual or conditional agreements, and the Ketubah was considered the latter or the last conditional agreements. Tenaim often, as you'll hear, do include date and location. They generally include dowry and financial obligations of both sets of parents to their children, and certain kind of insurance-related matters, and also a recognition that there would be penalties for failures to comply with the conditions. Very, very often now, first of all, how many people, how many of you, when you got married, had Tenaei Shiduchim? Aaron, you have to raise. Oh, you're raising it. That's good. I'm glad you both recognize. I would say, in my experience, some couples want Tenaim, but it's always done within an hour of the wedding service, because there's a very important recognition that this is a binding agreement, and that if it were broken, there are legal consequences, halachic consequences. Many Tenaim begin, although they have various forms, many of them begin with Limazal Tov. And I think that's a very important thing for us to keep in mind. For these two families coming together, this will be Limazal Tov, for good fortune. Becca and Jonathan asked me to say a word or two about breaking of the plate, but we'll do that just before we get to breaking of the plate. And we're going to hear from the Kala and the Chatan now.
Yeah, so you make the grape juice.
Yeah.
And then my brother really brings
I'm sorry, there's no heated sword for you to take over.
Along the lines of other traditional Jewish ceremonies, we're going to do a short kiddush, and then the witnesses are going to sign the document, and following that, I will be reading the document out loud to you so you all hear what it sounds like. Good. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
to come up now. The witnesses have already seen the document, read it, and approved of it. So, okay. And after we sign, we're going to sign it. Go ahead. Yeah, 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 I'm now going to read this lovely document. You can see the title, font chosen by the lovely bride-to-be.
Beautiful font.
Off to a good start.
Here we go. Shtar Tenaim, contract of conditions between Rebecca Farber and Jonathan Tenaim. May the ever-present one hear the following intentions for the future marriage of Rebecca Sarah Farber and Jonathan Hillel Tenaim. With your support, may Becca and Jonathan find the strength to be able to uphold these Tenaim with grace and ease, and continually remain conscious of them. In reaching this stage, we are publicly declaring our exclusivity and fidelity to one another. The partnership we create will be characterized by open communication, mutual support, and unmitigated love. We will communicate genuinely, yet gently and intentionally, creating a safe environment in which to express ourselves. We will support each other along the way, celebrating in our successes, comforting in times of hardship, and encouraging one another to realize our full potentials. Our partnership will be based not only on a spiritual union, but on an economic one as well. We will share in the duties of building and providing for a home, each offering our own unique talents for its prosperity. In addition, our spending choices will be based on principles of responsibility and sustainability. To the best of our abilities, we will support and promote the physical, emotional, and intellectual development of our children through regular involvement in their lives. We will help them cultivate healthy and effective habits, nurture independent critical thinking skills, and foster in them deep feelings of empathy for others and themselves. Through time, effort, and liberal doses of love, we will encourage our children to be guided not only by tradition, but by their own authentic voices as well. Hoping to perpetuate the loving familial ties with which we are blessed, we will be sure to maintain a relationship with our immediate and extended family. Whether they live near or far, we are committed to remaining in contact, inviting them into our home, making plans to see them or talk with them on a regular basis, and participating in family gatherings.
Woohoo!
All the above will be supported by a strong moral compass, informed directly by Jewish values. We will strive to continuously engage in Talmud Torah, sharing in our personal learning endeavors, studying together, and passing on our love and knowledge to our immediate circle and the community at large. We hope to perpetually practice Shmirat HaLashon, serving as a model of mindful speech for our children. Lastly, we will participate as a family in volunteering and other forms of civic engagement. Acting as partners with our Creator, we will take part in the work of Tikkun Olam. Through these acts of chesed, tzedakah, and gemilut chasadim, we will affirm that everyone is dignified and that anyone can serve as an agent of change. To indicate our intent to marry, we present one another with tokens of kinyan, a symbolic exchange of objects that formally seals a contract. Becca presents to Jonathan 4 handmade Yadei Torah.
Wow. Wow.
Which are pointers for reading from the Torah scroll, carved from wood of an olive tree in Israel that Becca built herself.
Amazing. Amazing.
Do I take this now? Okay. And Jonathan presents to Becca a ring fashioned from jewelry offered by both sides of our families in support of our union. So, we're going to mutually lift up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, you guys get to witness the first time that Becca actually gets to see this ring.
Yeah.
You need a picture. Okay.
You ready?
There's a zoom, right?
I've never seen so many cameras up at
Really, really.
Oh.
No, I didn't. There's always a do-over. Good to know.
Those are great. Those are really awesome. They are really amazing.
Yeah.
They are incredible. What a beautiful idea.
Yeah, and you have an opportunity to use them very quickly.
Yeah, that's true.
Becca's landing on Tuesday.
Coming up.
So see, you're both landing on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
To finish up, if either of us considers the possibility of breaking this agreement, a process of personal reflection will be required, which is to be followed by an open discussion about our concerns. You must then work with a skilled relationship counselor before a final decision is reached. Above all, Becca and Jonathan will continue to be growth-oriented. We appreciate where we are, but also recognize our potentials. Our home, characterized by warmth and tolerance, will extend the same level of acceptance and support to our families, friends, and greater community. Becca and Jonathan agreed to marry with fullness of heart and intention, with chuppah and kiddushin, according to the law of Moses in Israel, on the 5th of Elul, 5773, on the 11th of August, 2013, in Los Angeles, California. That's it.
The beauty and the power of this document require a few words. Beyond what I said to you in an email. First, if you are familiar with Tenaim, Tenaei Shiduchin, as they're usually presented, this is much better. Much better, because we know much more about the couple.
Mhm.
And this was clearly a mindful presentation. It wasn't something that they just put together. I only met Jonathan, I guess it was in January, when he and Becca came to Or Kodesh. But through my late father-in-law, I know of his paternal grandfather, and that's a wonderful connection. And his Professor Gerald Hubis has had a distinguished and extended career in Jewish communal service, and that's clearly, I'm guessing, but it seems to me clear that that has played a role in who Jonathan is and his career path. Gary and I just met, but he comes from New Jersey. I mean, he teaches in New Jersey, lives in New Jersey, and teaches Jewish studies at Rutgers State University of New Jersey, which is a very good sign. Jewish people are always connected, and Beth mentioned that she went to a synagogue in the same town as the synagogue that I went to, and her brother is a well-known professor at Jewish Theological Seminary, and we hope in the future to bring him to Or Kodesh. And Farley and Glenn have been outstanding and devoted participants in our community and leaders in our community in important aspects, Achnasat Orchim, Tikkunei Leil Shavuot, and other activities too numerous for me to mention right now. And Becca, I have known fortunately for a long time, especially through one of the most important Jewish experiences that parents can have, the carpool to Jewish days.
You learn a lot.
And Becca's warmth and intelligence and drama and sense of humor all were evident way back then in those years, and they're certainly factors in Jonathan and Becca coming together. B'sha'ah tova. A word about breaking this plate. First of all, we have 2 hammers for Farley and Beth. We have a self-protecting bag.
Thought of
And we're
everything.
not going to use the corner of the table, but rather the hammers to break these plates. Why do we break these plates? The usual explanation for breaking a glass at a wedding applies here. That is, that we are mindful, even in moments of greatest personal joy, Let Yerushalayim al Rosh Simchati, even though I put my moment of greatest joy, I put Jerusalem at the head of it, and Jerusalem is not the perfect place yet. The world is not redeemed, and we are mindful of those shortcomings in the world. But with people like Becca and Jonathan, we know that the world will move forward in a good way. One other explanation, it's frequently presented, is that a broken piece of china can never be repaired, and God forbid, if a relationship ends, it can never be restored as it was. But the other explanation I want to share comes from the tractate Barachot, and it talks about the biblical verse, or the verse in Psalms, V'gilu bir'adah, to rejoice and to have joy in trembling. That could be a model for perhaps today, not for every day of your relationship. The joy I want you to emphasize, but joy and seriousness. Maybe we can put that into every day. The joy of this occasion, and the recognition that it is a very serious occasion, and obviously that your marriage will be, I hope, filled with joy and with the recognition of seriousness. The moms will come up. The moms will come up. I don't know if you have a preferred hammer. I'm going to move out of the way for many reasons.
Good use of the use
Okay, which side are you doing? I don't know. Closer to you, I got one.
On 3 or 3 and a go. That's always important.
On 3.
On 3.
1, 2.
This is just not fair.
We want to end with the Shiafianu because one is traditional to say Shiafianu when if anyone has acquired something new, which we both have today. And also, this is a very, very joyous occasion, so please join in the Shiafianu.
That's all, folks.